back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Jose Aldo was coming out before his UFC 218 main event title rematch versus Max Holloway, and very reluctantly, I mean, you gotta read between the lines to get what this dude is saying. He's admitting that Anderson Silva's legacy may forever be tarnished due to his second USADA doping violation. And I completely understand where Jose Aldo is coming from, and even though you're probably gonna bash him in the comments, it's probably because you are exactly like Jose Aldo. You know what I mean by that? You're probably a Conor stan, just like Jose Aldo is an Anderson stan. And you have to let me explain where I'm coming from. Conor McGregor, a lot of his fans, of course, are the Irish the Irish people that are fucking just fucking got the underground shit that he did with Scam. They got the roomfuls of his posters and his pictures, mans. They even got the shit he did with Ruckus too. Yo, they thought that shit was fat. I'm talking about the Conor stans. I'm not talking about me or you, just the fans that are like, yo, this dude is dope, but yeah, he can't be slapping officials. I'm talking about the ones that are like, yo, fuck that. Conor's celebrating. What was that referee even thinking, touching Conor McGregor? Conor can say whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. What the fuck you mean? Conor. I'm talking about those people. That's what you have to imagine. You know, it's part of the reason for that. A lot of Conor's diehard fans have that Irish heritage. They're like, yo, he's putting us on the map in a big way. It's the same thing with Anderson Silva for a lot of Brazilians. You have to think about this. Anderson Silva was like that fucking dude. Anderson Silva turned me and a lot of the people I know into MMA. I didn't even think about MMA before I seen Anderson Silva doing his thug dizzle in his highlights. That's what drew me to it. But that didn't make me an Anderson stan. That made me an Anderson fan. Imagine all of that and being actually Brazilian, you know what I'm saying? Anderson put Brazil on the map in one of the biggest ways. Of course, Royce Gracie and Jiu-Jitsu did their thug dizzle, but Anderson Silva was that crossover, the casual star, the Conor McGregor before Conor McGregor. And I'm not talking about the trash talk, I'm talking about, holy shit, that dude is icing dudes, and he's doing it in spectacular fashion. So you have to think, everyone growing up watching MMA from Brazil looks at Anderson Silva kind of like the Irish fans look at Conor McGregor. So that's why whenever Conor McGregor does some crazy shit, it's reluctant. They're like, yeah, you know, I'm a huge Conor fan, and you know, he probably shouldn't have slapped the referee, but what was the referee thinking approaching Conor McGregor? You think you can just approach Conor McGregor and not get pushed? It's kind of the referee's fault. And it's like, yo, no, it's not the referee's fault. I understand though, you're a fucking Conor stan. Same thing here with Jose Aldo. I mean, he didn't just come out and say, yeah, man, you can't pop dirty twice. He came out, and I'll read what Jose Aldo had to say before we get out of here. He said, I'm very careful. It's a whole career and a lot of fans and journalists now that say Anderson was not a champion because he's always been a guy who cheated. Whether or not it will tarnish Silva's legacy in the long run, he's an idol for us. But in the eyes of the fans, after being caught twice, I think that could condemn and devalue his career, which for me was one of the best. It's difficult for Anderson to talk about whether or not he's doping because he's a benchmark in the sport, an idol for me and MMA lovers. I can't say much because I don't know the case. I know he has the same doctor as I do, and I don't think he could have taken something to improve his performance. He's much more innocent than guilty, but we have to wait. The same goes for Nogueira. Fighters sometimes injure themselves and want to medicate themselves without consulting a doctor. In addition, USADA changes the substances that are considered doping a lot. So he's got some good points, and so do the fucking Conor. You know, if you just look at it through their lens, you kind of see where he's coming from. Because yeah, if Mark Goddard pushed Conor McGregor, you know, that they make you go back and double take. Like, hold on, did Mark Goddard push Conor? Hold on, what? Are they right? But no, clearly Mark Goddard was in the right, and clearly the people who believe Anderson Silva's, you know, legacy is tarnished, they're fucking right. How can it not be? Same with John Jones. The only people that don't believe it are the people that are the stands, as I've said how many times now. So with that being said, I mean, yeah, USADA does change substances that are considered doping a lot. He's got a point, and it can kind of like, hey, he's got a point. But even though USADA does all that, there's some guys that never get busted, and then let alone fucking twice, you know what I'm saying? And it's a whole different story when your legacy is what it is, when you're known as one of the greatest of all times. Of course that becomes tarnished. I mean, Armstrong, John Jones, Barry Bonds, we can keep going on and name guys that were fucking great whose legacies were tarnished after they got caught doping. And Anderson Silva's no different. If Conor McGregor got caught doping, of course his fans would say, yo, no, it's because it was from the fucking cocaine that he did. You know, Conor McGregor and John Jones, they have the same dealer, you know. But a lot of people would say, actually, Conor would get a pass because it's his first try. But if it was a second time, there would be Conor stands that are like, yo, even though it's a second time, it's because you get the fucking point. So with that being said, it is what it is, man. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you tap in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.